So you 27.
Hmm.
You got you an older guy.
Hmm.
What made you go for the older guy? What made you say, okay, I'm rocking with this guy?
To be honest, I got tired of millennial men. I kept trying to help them build, trying to be a support network, and they weren't doing nothing with it. They were not doing anything with my support. I was like, forget this. I'm just going to bypass it. I'm going to go older. I'm done. Because, if you meet a guy around that age, his career is already established. Now, it's a little bit tricky because not every guy that is that age is on in the market for marriage though. So
Okay.
women do have to be mindful of that. They should be upfront with their desires. But also my husband's very physically fit and he's very accomplished. I'm a badge bunny. I really like men in uniform, so that's like something that I'm
Okay.
like, yes, this guy's awesome. But I don't think I would be into your average 50-year-old man.
This is you. What do you think about this when you look at this?
I wanted to pull off short hair. I was actually pretty buff at that time, pretty muscular, and having short hair kind of makes you stay in the gym because it's a hard thing to pull off. So I looked good, but not like this. Not like this. And I look much better with longer hair, but I had had short hair for years. Since I was 15 years old, I had short hair. And I just wasn't familiar with, oh, well, I should probably grow this out and maybe I would look more feminine. And I did, and I do, and I like it. And I would never get a pixie cut again. Like, you could not pay me to do that.
you this is like the feminist starter kit right here.
Oh, facts. Yes.
And then you gave up on looks entirely. What's going on here? You got the dog, you got everything. What's happening right here?
Oh man, so I was in a long-term relationship for about 5 years, and it just wasn't conducive to the woman that I wanted to be. But I didn't know. I was really young, so I was a very feminine. I was a masculine woman by force. It wasn't a position I wanted to be in, and then the other person I would argue probably wasn't very much in their masculine. So it's like if you're constantly coming home to a lump on a log, well, why would I even try for my looks? And I find that's a lot different now that my husband's constantly chasing me around the house. He just looks at me and I'm like, oh, I want to go to the gym right now. I'm going to the gym right now. I can't wait. So I just gave up. I wasn't happy. And that's
Mm,
another reason why I ended up making my platform is that I know other women just don't have the insights. For example, if you look through on the Instagram too, I was fat in high school and nobody told me.
really?
And so yeah, no one told me. Well, I think I had an ex-boyfriend mention it one time. But aside from that, it's pretty standard and the norm. So I'm Puerto Rican, and that's one reason why I ended up latching onto Kim Samuel's content. It's because a lot of it is very similar to the problems that are going on in the Puerto Rican community. And I mean,
Ah,
we'll be
wait,
thin,
wait. Stop there. Stop there. I
yeah,
like that you
okay.
said that because one of the things that I tell people on a regular basis is
Mhm.
that the problems that we see happening as far as what men are complaining about or what men are highlighting that are issues as far as how they feel about women or the type of woman that's presenting themselves today is not just in one community. It's in a
Mhm.
lot of different communities. And so you illustrating that, yo, this is in the Puerto Rican community. Can you go ahead and like tackle that for me really quickly?
Oh
Because we'll
man,
come
well
back to
it's
that,
not.
this whole picture thing.
I promise y'all, it's not that different from the black community. It's the only thing that's different is the skin tone, and that's sometimes because I got people in my family. Basically, if you're Puerto Rican, you can be Spaniard, blonde haired, blue eyes, or you could literally be African dark, right? So we have like this entire spectrum. And just, I was raised by New Yorkers, right? So not just Puerto Ricans, but Puerto Ricans from New York City. And
Oh,
women from that area, you can't get them to be feminine or submissive at all. And they make a lot of mistakes in the dating market, and the children are affected. And I'm a high IQ child, so I'd be looking, I'm like, why do you keep doing this? This is not fun for me. This certainly can't be fun for you as the woman. And that's why I ended up listening to his content because a lot of that domineering, that aggressive, that very much narcissistic attitude. Well, it's about me. It's about the bag. You can't trust a man. It's fear, scarcity, and lack. And so that was something that I saw transferred in my culture that I took all of his lessons to heart. I really did. I really did. And I wasn't that far gone. And don't get me wrong, I think for most women, they would have been really offended by the stuff that he said. But I'm a goal oriented person. I knew what I wanted, And I'm not gonna front. I wanted to be Becky Housewives. Unfortunately, I have tattoos, so it's like a little bit different. But
Yeah, I
I
had
did my
noticed that in your
research.
video. Well, hold on,
Oh
wait.
yeah.
Before we go there, hold on. So let me
Mhm.
pivot. So then you got some transitions that you made, and then you got the 2020 picture. What do you think about when you see this?
I looked really pretty, right? My
Yeah, you
makeup was
do.
done, my hair was nice, and I was going to parties, but I hated partying. And I think that's a common misconception is that a lot of people think that a woman that's partying, she's having a great time. It's actually miserable. I would always go to a corner. I'm like, why am I even here? But I didn't really understand at the time that you have to make an honest effort to do wholesome things with girls. And a lot of the times they're going to say no. It's actually really hard to get your girlfriends to go bowling with you or to go hiking. They would much rather go out to eat, eat probably too many calories. They'd much rather go to a bar. So I ended up, just thinking to myself, well, if I hate it, why do I keep doing it? So I haven't been to a party in 2 years. I don't think
Wow.
I'll go to a family party, but I won't go to anything at college. So that was where that was coming from. And it also makes you fat. It makes you fat constantly drinking, especially the fruity drinks and the beer. Like I'd rather stay home.
All right, so let me go to the last one. I think this is the last one, and this is you pretty much today.
Yeah, I would say so. Hmm.
What does this picture say to you when you look at it? Do you look at your old photos or stuff like that you post on Instagram and stuff like that?
I try not to because sometimes I get really upset about the things that I've done in my life, and the reality is just you look. Not everybody comes from a two-parent, well-rounded household. A lot of people go through things, and I find that I probably take too much accountability, and that's kind of an issue that I've discussed in my marriage, where my husband's like, you're kind of like really hard on yourself. Have you looked at your progress? So I try not to look too much, but when I do, I'm really happy with where I am in my life. And I'm really glad that I did the work, and I'm really glad that I got to marry my first choice in a man. And I'm just excited. We just bought a house. We're closing in 2 weeks. Hopefully, we'll get some babies in there next year.
Yeah, yeah,
It's a good
yeah.
way to live.
I hear
And
you.
I'm glad I did it young.
Yeah. You trying to get them babies up, and how many kids you want?
I want five, but he's 50, so I feel kind of bad. I think
He's
I think I
what?
should cap it at. So my husband's 50, so I think it might be a little bit cruel if we had five babies. So I'm gonna
Wait,
shoot
wait,
for
wait.
three.
Hey. Hold on. Wait. How old are you, if you don't mind me asking? You don't listen.
No, it's
Let
not
me preface
offensive.
this by saying that you don't have to answer anything that you don't want to answer.
Hmm.
How old are you?
That's fine. I'm pretty much an open book. So I'm 27 years old.
So you 27.
Hmm.
You got you an older guy.
Hmm.
What made you go for the older guy? What made you say, okay, I'm rocking with this guy?
To be honest, I got tired of millennial men. I kept trying to help them build, trying to be a support network, and they weren't doing nothing with it. They were not doing anything with my support. I was like, forget this. I'm just going to bypass it. I'm going to go older. I'm done. Because, if you meet a guy around that age, his career is already established. Now, it's a little bit tricky because not every guy that is that age is on in the market for marriage though. So
Okay.
women do have to be mindful of that. They should be upfront with their desires. But also my husband's very physically fit and he's very accomplished. I'm a badge bunny. I really like men in uniform, so that's like something that I'm
Okay.
like, yes, this guy's awesome. But I don't think I would be into your average 50-year-old man.